My most recent video was on getting past memory blocks, how to interact with what we have acting out in us, how we're trying to interface with the demon when we're playing it out and it emerges, we're triggered and we know that it's not okay and we're trying to interact with that. We're at a point in our development where we're seeing that and going, God, how do I make it stop? So I'll post a link to that video below on how that starts. But since then, I've come up with an idea I think is a great idea. And it uses modern technology, the cell phone. What I have talked about previously is that we have different mental states of being, that our consciousness, when we're young, emerges as we begin to process our life experiences, and we begin to, without knowing any differently, we begin to live our life through those experiences, and our life becomes a product of our background, of our upbringing, of how we have been treated in life, and that we're living that out and we're trying to interface with that. But it's the consciousness that's decided how life experiences are emotion-wise and store that away as a memory. Then that becomes the subconscious, and as we're not paying attention, those are the things that are acting out. And so we know we've got those mind states right there that we're working with, a consciousness and a subconscious, but there's a third part that we can step outside of ourselves and become our higher being. And we can look at ourselves from a detached perspective so that we're not caught up in the emotions of what's happening and try to interact with that. The difficult thing is that at the time we're being triggered, it is so emotionally strong at that point, it's difficult to boom, step out into that higher being at that moment, which is what needs to happen. At the moment we're being triggered and trying to interrupt it, we need to be that other self, the self that steps outside of the anguish or the fear, something that knows, yep, I'm getting out of that. I see a process going on there, and we need to interface with that. Okay, check this out. I just played with this morning, and I came up with this. You're getting triggered. Here's that moment. Here's that moment. Stop and take a look. You absolutely feel right now. That is why you are being triggered. But you know from experience that that's the ego telling you feel right just so that you will be triggered. That's actually something false. That is a mechanism that is trying to hide a fear to keep you from looking at it. Remember that. Recognize that. When this is over with, if you let it play out, you're hurting people. You got to quit. Be easy on yourself. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what's going on. Talk to me, Dan. Let me know where you're coming from. Take a look at the event. What is happening? What is it relative to in the world? Is it something that bothers you about somebody's behavior or something? Whatever. Look at those things and understand that it's something that you got trapped inside. You're denying. Try to look at it. Interrupt this behavior. Yeah. Step out of it. Step out of it. We can violate time and space. We can create that person that needs to interface with us. We're already there when we're in the mental state of, okay, this is what I need to do. I'm going to record it. And then when I'm being triggered, I'm going to listen to it because I can't get there. But I know as soon as I hear it, yeah, that's what I need to listen to. There is some verses in the Gospel of Thomas that talk about, that the strong man is going to come and destroy your house. So you practice and test kind of poking holes in the wall before the strong man gets there. And when the strong man gets there, you destroy the strong man. And what that means is when we play that out in our psyche, we know now that something is emerging, something is going to come and it's going to destroy our house. It is destroying our life. It is hurting us. It is destroying our existence. So we need to make preparation for it so that when it emerges, we can destroy it. And that's what this is doing right here. Before the process was create that higher self. That's how you interact with it. But I didn't realize, you know what? We can record that. we can use the technology in this case to our advantage. So I'd recommend doing that. I would do that. I'd never thought about that until we've had this discussion. The more we discuss this, the more ideas come up, the more we kind of grow with figuring it out. At least that's how I feel for me. And interfacing with other people and having them ask questions and when you don't know but you want to know, that's how you find out. So anyway, it continues to grow. As you're doing it, the people around you might not be as much on board. And one other thing that I wanted to mention, as I made the other video, I remember talking about, my wife when it was my turn to hear something, where she was letting me know that, here are the things that you say that you don't do, or that, that continue to happen, that you apologize for, but that those moments you're going to sit there and think, here I am trying to be raw, trying to change, trying to emerge from this, and I'm trying to bare my soul, and this person is just like grinding at me. What the hell? And that's actually not what's happening. What's happening, and you need to understand this, or I need to with my wife, is that she's not picking on me. She's expressing her frustration with me. And I need to shut up and acknowledge that. I need to understand that from inside of her head, this is what is coming out. Regardless of how I feel about my part in it, at that moment in time, I need to shut off to my own feelings and understand her feelings. That's something that helps us grow and understand and break down the barrier between, I've got a wall between even me and you. It helps us get past all of those too, so that in our relationships we can feel closer. But that there will be people around too. If you're getting a hold of really bad things, it depends on who and what it is. But there can be people that are very aggressively not okay with you dealing with things if you talk to them about it. Because we can see that in the world today, right now. I will say that if you look in extreme parts of the political structure where people are standing behind crosses and flags marching against homosexuality and other issues, what they're showing is what their shame is, what their fear is, what hasn't been dealt with. There are so many things in this world to concern oneself over. And you go to Leviticus and start looking through all the things that are around, not just the idea that man should not sleep with man, but that if you find out that your wife is not a virgin on your wedding night, you stone her to death on her father's doorstep. You don't allow a crippled person to come to the altar to leave gifts. Do all of these things make sense? Why would there be one grabbed out of that group while the rest of it being ignored? You got to ask yourself what comes out of the person is not directly what is there. What is coming out of the person is fear and shame. A wall of fear and shame. That is what needs to be recognized. We do that same thing. What comes out of us is not necessarily what we're after. We're actually coming out in the craziest ways to hide behind fear and shame and to keep people away. We got to break that down. But they're going to be doing that, and we have to understand to back away. I have offended people and made them actually angry at me by being just raw and saying, yeah, here's what I had to do. Because they're in that position where they're like, oh, I hate you for that. They're not there. You got to know depends on who you are and what the issues are. There can literally be people who are aggressively against you for your healing and for your openness about it. And when you run into that, you found their wall of shame, their own wall. Why would anybody have a problem with that? It's kind of spot on. We just need to recognize that about ourselves. We are lying to ourselves when we're triggering out. We think it's about an event. It's not. It's about something that we're hiding behind. But there is cause and effect. The measure you mete unto others will be likewise meted unto you. Karma, all of that. If we don't know the cause, look at the effect and know that it's coming from a cause. The fruit, what we have emerging is from the seed, and then find what is in here and transmute it. It's a different thing, right? Right now, it's looking at how to how to stop yourself, how to catch yourself. And that, the idea of leaving yourself a message, but go easy on yourself. Make it very gentle. Make the recording as if you are making it to a child or, somebody you care very much about. And make it specific to what your needs are and be very straight up, accurate. Here is what is happening. Here is what you must stop doing. Here is what you must see. The seed of your pain is right now emerging. It's fruiting. Stop it. And another thing, and I'm pretty sure everyone realizes this, but we may not be cognizant of it all the time, that whatever we continually look at, as we're sitting there watching a certain media style, something like that, we are wiring. We're becoming more and more that. And it's not even a whole picture. It's not even reality. Or it might have some truth to it, but it really isn't the picture. It's really meant to, in many cases, focus people's attention down and create some divisions. They're not a good place to be. We have to pull back from all of that. But by the very same token, what we continually view that we want to be a part of, that networks as well. You let go of the things that you don't want to. Fast as to the world. Let all that stuff out there go. But take time to figure out what's there. Resolve the issues that are there. But continually, if you need to fill in background, if you need to listen to something, and if you want to listen to something, or read something, I would read the same material over and over again. This kind of stuff over and over again. Or make yourself a video, a recording that you need to hear over and over again and play it over and over to yourself. It'll be wiring your brain. The more you listen to that, the more it makes those connections. The better we get at the things that we practice at, no matter what it is. So if you don't give much time to this, but you give a lot of time to the world is going to win. If you want this to win, you have to make a shift away from that. And I kind of treat that as black and white when actually there's a big space in between. Everybody has their own level of what is success and happiness in life. And at the end of the day, that's what we're looking at here, trying to be happy, trying to live good lives, and get out of the patterns that we were given at birth that became a part of us. We're trying to change something that others couldn't change, couldn't figure it out. Anyway, hope the video was helpful. Record it. That's perfect. Love one another. I'll see you in the next video.